The Chevy van with race car trailer is certainly not a kit you will find at your local hobby store on the shelves. I don't think so. You're also very hard pressed to find a in-box or a new box sealed version as any of the online retailers. You will see it on eBay. There you can certainly find it. And I certainly got it second-hand as well from a good friend here in South Africa. And I think we use this opportunity to have a closer look at this, should you come across it. Let's go. Now here's the box, and as you can see it's a quite sizable box. It is the Chevy van with trailer, fine folks over at Revell. As I said, got that from a friend here in South Africa for what I think was a very fair price for South African circumstances. And we're certainly going to have a look and see it. I personally like the car. The trailer looks somewhat familiar. We'll get to that a little later. And I'll certainly probably not going to do the scheme which is depicted here. It does look a bit boring, doesn't it? Just a white trailer with the racing team written on it? I don't think so. We will find something better for that. But in the meantime, I think we should have a quick look at the history of this kit, because it's obviously not today's or yesterday's kit. It might be the day before yesterday. But let's find out. Let's move over to Scalemates and have a quick look. And here we are with the Chevy van with race car trailer, Revell, number 857250, a kit in 1224. This particular kit, which we are looking at, came out in 1996 and apparently had new parts. Let's have a look. Yeah, it certainly did have new parts. It had a trailer, because if we look at the older one, we will see, or the original one, we will see it didn't have a trailer. That was the original Monogram kit, which has a beautiful, beautiful kind of color scheme on it, certainly better than the one we are looking at. And that was from 1977, and it was just a Chevy van. So that was the original kit, came out in 1977. So we're looking at a 1977 Monogram kit. That's what we basically do. The latest iteration was this one here, right over here, which was also just a Chevy van in white with some blue beautiful lines right over here. And let's see if I can find another maybe interesting color scheme. Let's see what we're having here. Of course, I obviously want to do an interesting. Here we have a Desert Red. Oh, look at that. With the off-road tires. Pretty cool. I can't see. Here you go. Very well. And then we have the Vampire Chevy van. Not right down my alley, I must admit. Then let's have a look at these two as well, just to see American Football Conference. There you go. And then we have the National Football Conference. Okay. So these were the things. So obviously it's a huge blank canvas. You can do whatever you want with it. We obviously having a look at this particular one, which looks rather boring, but that's not what it's all about. Obviously the final result will hopefully not be as boring, but we will have a look what is in the box, and that's what we got to do right now. I'll see you at the bench. And here we are down at the bench, and as you can see, it is a huge box, rightly fits into the camera. Right. Let's open it up. Oh no, before we do that, let's have a quick look what's on the sides, as much as we can. Different angles, that is with the race car right over there. Some detail features on this side. Then on the other side, tells you more about Chevrolet. Also tells you that it is licensed. This is a level 2 kit out of 3, and that's about it. Right, that missed too much. Let's open the box now. Let's see what we have here. Right, we have an instruction sheet. We'll have a look at that first thing. We have the glass floating around on its own in the box. I'm not a fan of that. Lots of loose parts. As I told you, it is a second-hand kit, so that will happen. Red glass. I think that is just parts of the sprue. We have the body and other stuff which is associated with the body. We have an empty sprue. And we have tires. There it says part number and it says made in Denmark. Interesting. Here you go, and that's what's all in the box. So I'd say we have a quick look at, oh yeah, decals as well. We'll have a look at those in a minute. But before that, we have a quick look at the instruction sheet. Let's get a little bit closer. Here we go. You guys can see. Right. Tells you that, tells you what to do. It tells you the color cool out. That actually is a very unusual color cool out for Revell. If you see that, you know it's not an original Revell kit because they have a much worse color cool out. What they don't seem to have is the sprues listed in any way, shape or form, so that you can have a look if everything is in the box. Because they start out right with the V8 right over here. They tell you what the part is and they tell you what the color is. I like that. It's actually pretty cool. Frame, transmission, wheels right over here. Exhaust assembly, so exhaust not molded in. Hallelujah. Then we have rear suspension assembly and rear shock right over here. Drive shaft, etc. Then we have front suspension assembly. The front springs, we have the dashboard right over here. I don't have much hopes that we get any decals for the instrument panel, probably not. We have the seats, they must be leather, as they're satin. We have the satin black tape player, oh yeah. So that's the interior to chassis, so then we have the windows right over here. Looks like front window and side window are in one. Then we have the radiator assembly, front end details right over here with the not molded in wipers. Then the body gets to the chassis, mirrors are attached, and that should be more or less it apart from the rear body details. Then we get to the trailer. And that looks awfully familiar. If you have watched my Ford Modpod racing set, which also comes with a trailer and a racing car, actually I've built that one in the meantime, you will see that this trailer looks awfully similar to the one which we have built then. So I would assume it is the same. Looking at these assembled rear axles, etc., etc. So that looks all very, very similar. Ramp options, yeah, that's exactly how it was there. Very cool. And here you see a somewhat different color scheme from what we have seen in the box. That's very, very interesting. So it tells you where the decals go. And what does it say the body color is here? If you have a look here, aluminium. Body gloss white. Just says body gloss white. Yeah, here it says that you can do it in a two-tone color scheme, which looks a lot more interesting. Anyway, it will not be white when I build it. That's for sure. Right, we have the decals. Here you go. We can once again go a little bit closer here. That should do it. Right. Now, the racing team, decals, etc. Be quite honest, I don't think I'm going to use any of these when I build that. I will make mine somewhat different. Maybe the Chevy decal and maybe some of the number plates, and that's about it. Interesting, the trailer has a Wisconsin number plate. Oh yeah, and so it does that. Looks different in color than the van. Anyway, here they are. They don't look, as you can see, quite yellow, but the decals themselves are not yellow. It's just the transfer paper which is yellowed. And it has even application instructions at the back. They don't look too bad. Not quite sure how they come out. As I said, not planning to use them in any shape or form. Let's have a look at the tires. Let's get the odd parts out of the way first. And let's get one out anyway. Right, these are... The tread looks alright. Let's get a bit closer so you can see. I'm not quite sure how we're going to get you focused in on the tire. There we go, gives you an idea. Yeah, there you are. Tread looks alright, there's no branding, nothing, all blank. No Firestone or anything. Oh, I'm lying. Look at that. Hopefully you can see it. Yes, it's Michelin branding. I think on one side only. Yeah, it is on one side only. But there is some Michelin branding on the tire. I like that a lot. Here we go. Well done, the Monogram. We have some Michelin branding on the tire. Very, very cool. All right, let's close this back. Attempt to anyway. I think I got it. And let's have a quick look at the transparent parts, which I will certainly put in a protective cover once I'm done with this review. These are rear lights. Transparent red, very nice, very nice. And then we have transparent parts, and there are some scratches, which is to be expected, given the fact that they were floating around in the box without any protection. Who would do that? What barbarian would do? Anyway, there it is. It has a rear window. I think that's for the rear door. It has some lights right over here, and that's about it. That's a pity. Quite thick plastic as well. So, yeah, we'll have to polish that up, that's for sure. Right. Then I would say let's start with the oh, wait a minute. There are more tires. I haven't seen those. Look, there are tires on the sprue as well. They look slightly thicker than the tires we saw in there. So I guess the tires, the Michelin tires we had along, were actually the tires for the trailer. And these are the tires for the van. They certainly have branding. Very proud. You can see it right over here. Goodyear branding. Radials. GT. Very cool. Quite a bit of cleanup to do, as it always is with those tires on the sprue. But otherwise, very, very cool. So those thin Michelin tires are for the trailer. This is for the van. Here we go. I missed that when I unpacked. Then we have chrome. I always want to have a quick look at the chrome. Very, looks thickish. It really does. There's the exhaust right over here. Two of those side pipes. Really? Anyway, there they are. I'm sure there are other options. There you have, yeah, I will probably have to redo this. We have the bumper, which the attachment points to the sprue. Always a problem, isn't it? We have this part. Anyway, which looks a distributor cap in chrome. Anyway, we have the wipers, A-arms. So there are quite a few chrome parts which might be de-chromed. Love the wheels. They look very original. And obviously the front clip right over here. Again, the attachment points very, very unflattering here on the sides. which means I'll probably have to dechrome this. And here we are. That's the chrome. Very shiny, thick at places. You'll probably end up dechroming lots of it. Right, we have another bag of parts right over here. Let's see what these look like. Lots of parts which are just floating around, like the seats. Very fancy seats, look at that. Very cool. I like those. Seats are very cool. Need a lot of tender loving care. A lot of seam lines, flash. Yeah, everything you can dream of in a kit is on here. And some cleaning will be required. No surprises there, obviously. There's the dashboard. And you see it has the kind of 3D dashboard layout right over here, which is always a clear indication that there are no dashboard decals in the kit. You have the radio over here, and we still have an extra tape recorder, as you have seen in the instruction sheet. So, but otherwise, that's a very nicely detailed dashboard, not a problem. Rear axle assembly right over here with differential. Can we just focus on that? Here we go. Not too shabby night. And another part floating around. Non-descriptive. Here we have the engine halves right over here together with the gearbox, and the radiator assemblies right over here. We have leaf springs, heads, valve covers, drive shaft, front suspension right over here. That looks like a cover for the spare wheel. Here we have console, or parts of the console right over here. I think this is the famous tape recorder right over there. Here we go. Yeah. As I said, lots of seam lines, but otherwise not bad. And we have this one. Here we have different exhausts, not the chromed exhaust. And I will certainly see this, yeah, depending what I'm built, but certainly see this being more my cup of tea. And I was talking about a V8 earlier. It certainly looks like one. Why do we only have... Yeah. Is it a V6? No, can't be. Anyway, there it is. There are the exhausts. We have the shock absorbers right over here. And looking at the headers right over here. Let me know in the comments. Was it a V6? Was it a V8? I was certainly happy to learn. Here we have the steering wheel, which looks rather smallish, which tells me it has certainly power steering. The fan, we have the backside of the wheels, we have the belt assembly right over here, steering column, and some part which I believe would probably go into the frame, half frame, whatever these vans had. Not too sure. Certainly looks a stabilizer of sorts. Right, let's put all of that back into these plastic packets. You can see these have been packed by the former owner, and obviously very nice because you can reseal them, so that's very good. As long as you don't lose any parts in the process, I have no problems with that. Then we have this, which is a wheel floating around, and some sprues. Right. This looks like the trailer wheel right over here, and these are certainly trailer parts. Yeah, they all look very familiar. I've seen those before. I'm pretty sure I've seen those before. Wheels right over here. These are the sidewalls of the trailer. That splash wall right over there. Here we have different, so you can either have it hooked, then obviously it will be in this kind of crank position, or you can have the trailer stand on its own, then you take the longer crank. Pretty cool. Right, and then we have this sprue right over here, which has the trailer frame. Seems to be kind of pre-assembled. And then obviously the ramp, etc., where then your racing car will go. I have a nice Anglia right over there at the back. Anglia drag coupe. I'm planning to have this one on here when I build it. Right, that's what was in this particular bag. This was still the original bag. It was cut open very carefully, which is I'm always grateful for. Hey, get in here. Get in here. Don't get hooked. There we go. Put this one in as well. And the wheel belongs here as well. Here we go. Back into the box. Then we come to this. Now there's a kind of an assembly of stuff. Here we go. We have the interior. We have that right over here. Engine would be underneath here. Some textured sides. Well, that's very cool. Very nice. Pedals are molded in right over here. And it looks like it's a 4-speed. That's very cool. Has a clutch pedal. And the younger people ask your parents what a clutch pedal is. Then we have bottom part right over here. See here, copyright 1996, Revell Monogram. And let's have a look at the bottom. Well, that's pretty cool. I like that. That's actually not bad. The tank is molded in, so I'm not a huge fan of that. But otherwise, I like the structures. You can certainly do some weathering on that, and it should look quite cool without too much effort put in. And then obviously the star of the show, the body. There are no open doors or any of that, but you have the Chevy van right over here. Engraving. We have the lights, side marker lights right over here. Handles molded in, but otherwise the body looks pretty clean. It has these beautiful lines on top, and it looks like you can even cut out a skylight right over here and right over here if you want to. I have seen the smaller one. I haven't seen the big one. No, it certainly isn't here. You see, I have seen this one here. That can go in here. I haven't seen sunlight over here, so this needs to stay for sure. Right. Otherwise, the body looks all right. It's not. Couple of edges, couple of cleaning ups to do right over here. You can see where they came together. So there certainly is some cleaning up to do, some tender loving care, but otherwise fine, fine, nothing wrong with it. 1977 Monogram, keep that in mind. For that it's fine. Right, let's reassemble everything. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was that. That's what I have to say from the bench section on the Chevy van with race car trailer from Revell. And I suggest we go back up to the bench and have a few last words. See you there. And here we are with the Chevy van with race car trailer, which is a rather big box for what's inside. Lots of space in there, which is not a bad thing, I suppose. But yeah, normally everything is pressed in and you rather can't get it back. Well, in this particular case, no problems whatsoever. I think it's a nice kit. It's a kit of its age. It's a 1977 Monogram kit. It shows at places. The trailer's even older probably. So, but anyway, it is, if you like that, and I do, that era, those shagging vans were odd and used them for all kinds of stuff. And there's a racing van with a trailer. That might be right up your alley. Certainly is right up mine. Thanks very much for popping in. Hope you guys have a lovely day further, and greetings from Cape Town. Cheers.